Welcome back to another episode of Back to the Futures, the official podcast of the Futures League, presented by 78 Sports. I'm Owen Shadrick alongside Matt Ferreira. Matt, how are you doing today?
I am doing amazing, Owen. Happy to be here.
Yeah, we are both very happy to be here. We're recording on Friday morning, the 23rd, as we are continuing to edge our way into Futures League baseball season here. We're almost at July, which is insane. Little standings update for you here. The Vermont Lake Monsters are in first place at 18-7, followed by the Worcester Bravehearts at 16-8. The New Britain Bees and Norwich Sea Unicorns round out the playoff picture at the moment. Westfield not far behind, though, just a half game behind Norwich. And then Pittsfield, Nashua, and Brockton at the bottom. Nashua playing very well as of late. So we'll see who can climb up the standings here in the next couple weeks. Matt, who is playing well around the Futures League?
Yeah, we had Tyler Bastunas in Worcester. He continues to hit. He's still hitting over 400 on the season. In Nashua, Shane Walkley has been on fire as of late. He's now tied for the lead league in home runs with 4, adding a couple of doubles to his name as well, and has 7 on the season. Pitching-wise, another name out in Worcester, Clay Robbins, has been exceptional with a 2.70 ERA. And, well, Owen, our player and pitcher of the week, would you like to?
Yes, I would, Matt. Thank you very much for that wonderful transition. Matt just mentioned Shane Walkley of the Nashua Silver Knights, who had a great week. He earned himself player of the week, going 8 for 17 with a 471 average, 3 doubles, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs for Shane. Congratulations. And our pitcher of the week is Jared Kuryan, who you guys are going to be very familiar with here in a couple minutes. He had a no-hitter on Father's Day, 7 innings, no hits, no runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks, 1 walk away from perfection. He is our guest this week on the podcast from the New Britain Bees. Matt, it was great to hear from Jared this week.
Yeah, it was amazing to hear from him. It's always fun to see what's happening on the inside of the team when a no-hitter's happening. So it's great to see his insight and what happened in his experience.
Yeah, we dive into that no-hitter pretty extensively here for the first part of the podcast, so be sure to tune in for that. Please also don't forget to sign up for the FCBL Network. Week pass is $10, month pass is $30, full season pass at $99. You don't want to miss that. Continue to dig in for Pete. We've got that link in our caption. Matt, I know you went to a couple games this week. It was great for me to be back on the field and at Holman Stadium this week. And it's just great to have Futures League baseball back and in full swing here as we head towards July.
Yeah, it's amazing to be back on the field. Hopefully the rain will stop a little bit so we can fit some more games in, but it's been fun to be back on a diamond.
Yeah, a lot of postponements, but stay with us here. There's going to be plenty of doubleheaders and plenty of fun action for the rest of the season. Matt, I don't know about you, but that's all I got, and it's time, I think, for us to hear from Jared Kuryan. What do you think?
I think it's time.
I think it's time. Jared Kuryan of the New Britain Bees is our guest this week. Let's take you to that interview right now. We are honored to welcome our next guest here on Back to the Futures. He is currently with the New Britain Bees and was recently named our pitcher of the week after a special accomplishment last Sunday, which we'll get to in a minute. It's Jared Kuryan. Jared, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me. I'm happy to be here, ready to go.
Yeah, of course, man. And we're excited to have you. And I mentioned it. We could ask many questions to lead off, but we will start with a no-hitter. You had it this past Sunday on Father's Day. It was a beautiful day in New Britain. You came in, dominated, and got the no-hitter and the win for the Bees. What did it mean to get that no-hitter?
I mean, it was amazing, especially on Father's Day. Both my fathers were there, so my dad and my grandpa. So it was amazing seeing them there, and doing it for them on a special day was incredible. It's something we're never going to forget.
Yeah, and you said it. That had to mean a lot on Father's Day, especially, which I'm sure that your dad and grandfather have done a lot for you baseball-wise. So to do it in front of them, that must have been fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And it was the first no-hitter in the history of the Bees organization. What does that mean to you that your name is now edged in history forever as a New Britain Bee?
I mean, it's incredible. Like, I knew, like, I was going to have a good game going into, like, the 5th, and I have no hits already. I was like, okay, like, we're doing something here. But I wasn't really, like, expecting to throw a complete game no-hitter. Like, I didn't think the game was going to end in the 7th inning. I was told I wasn't going back out for the 8th inning because of the league pitch count rules. So the only way that I would have gotten it was with a mercy rule, and that's what my teammates did. So props to them getting all those runs for me. So that's huge. So shout out to them.
So is that when you said you found out in like the 5th inning that you were headed for a no-hitter?
Well, I'd actually known earlier on, like really early on, like 2nd and 3rd inning, like I was like, dang, still haven't given up a hit. But by the 5th inning, I was like, all right, I can actually do this. Because every single time I pitch, I think about it. Like I'm like, oh dang, I didn't give up a hit in the 1st inning. Like we got a no now. Um, Obviously I'm always trying to throw no hitter, but uh, I realized like I was actually like feeling good and confident, facing the bottom of the order in the 5th inning. I'm like, all right, we got something going here. So
And you talked about how in the 5th inning, that's when you really started to kick in, like that I could do this. How much
yeah,
stress is there getting 3 outs every inning, going through knowing to try and keep it going?
honestly, like there's some stress, but at the same time, like I know I just had to stay focused. Like the stress for me, like I guess it wasn't that much because I if I gave up a hit, we were still winning 8-0. You know what I mean? So like we were still gonna win the game, no matter what. Obviously, it's cool to get like a no hitter personal accomplishment, but I really just wanted to win for the team. So that's what we did. It was good. So yeah.
And what was it like in the dugout? Was everybody leaving you alone, like keeping their distance, or was everyone acting normal?
Um, I don't know. I mean, there was a couple guys like still talking to me. I don't like to just like sit in my own corner all the time. Like sometimes I'll have conversations in the dugout. I like to talk to Given, my catcher, because I wanted to go over game plans and like attack strategies. But like I had Gavin Gregor next to me basically the whole game, talking to me, just chopping it up, keeping me calm and locked in. So having those little conversations, I feel like keeps it casual, makes the stress and anxiety go away. So makes it a lot easier like that. So that's what I did.
And from the first three, from the last 3 outs to the first 3 outs, in the 1st inning, you had one walk on the day, which would looked insignificant at the time, but it ended up being your only blemish on the day. Looking back, were you mad or angry at all of that, how close you came to perfection?
Honestly, it sucks, but uh I threw a no hitter in the past too, where I walked one kid, and this was like a while. This was like a couple years ago, and it is what it is. I mean, threw no hitter, so it was fine. But I felt like I got squeezed on a couple calls in that at bat. But it is what it is. Honestly, I don't really care, to be honest.
And you mentioned it, that was going to be our next question, was this is your second no-hitter for the Madison Legion. What what is your mentality throughout a game that you're throwing a no-hitter, and are you thinking about it throughout the entire time?
Um, yes, weirdly, I am thinking about it the entire time. But my mentality is just to not lose focus now. Like I get an out, stay locked in, keep doing my game plan, just execute my pitches, and if they haven't gotten a hit yet, they probably won't if I execute again. You know what I mean? So I just gotta keep doing what I do and then stay focused, I'd say.
But yeah, you're just a man of no hitters after throwing one in Madison Legion and now with the New Britain Bees. It's if you're thinking about it that much, it's got to happen a few times.
I guess so. I mean, maybe we'll get another one this season. We'll see.
And I have to ask, where is the ball from the final out of the no-hitter?
I got it right here.
uh,
There it is.
No hitter, 618, Futures League ball.
Love it.
So yeah.
That's
And I
awesome.
also got this coach gave me this lineup card from the day.
Nice.
So we got like the box score at the bottom and then like the boys right here. I gotta give a few shout outs here. So Obviously, my outfielders made a few nice plays for me, but Petty over at second base made a bunch of ground ball outs. Was locked down over there. Freddie with that huge play in the 7th inning with the tag. Dog. Aiden Kohal just rakes all the time. Bryce, just a beast at third. I don't know. Brady Short, he made like 6 plays for me that were like difficult, and he threw like strong arm all the way to first, and there was a few close plays, but if it weren't for him, they'd be hits. You got Eineman, bare hand play in the 7th inning. It's my boy right there. Given obviously, catcher, beast. Wawa, just a beast. And yeah, so those were like the biggest shout out I wanted to say was like the play from Eineman and Forgione in the 7th inning. That like it was stressful, it was tense in the moment there. They called him safe, and then I was the second they did that, I like knew. I pointed at the home plate umpire. I'm like, tell him, because I knew he knew it was safe or he was out. So uh they did a little conference there, and I was standing next to Freddie. I'm like, nice tag, nice tag. And then they called him out, and I was like, let's go. And it was like a really exciting moment for me. So just wanted to share that on there.
Yeah, that's great. And, all those guys deserve all the praise in the world for helping you get that no-hitter for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they are a group of gods, and I'm glad that I'm on the same team as them because I wouldn't want to play against them.
For sure. And that no-hitter earned yourself Futures League Pitcher of the Week honors. What did that mean to you?
Yeah, that's like really exciting because like I never like at school I was always trying to get pitcher of the week um at the D3 level, and I never got it because I didn't have like a good outing, as good an outing as that. So finally getting some award was pretty cool. It felt good. So I'm glad about that. I'm happy about that. So yeah.
And opening it up even broader, you have established yourself here early in New Britain and in the Futures League, being 2-0 with a 1.89 ERA. What does it mean to come into the league and dominate right out of the gate?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I don't normally start off this hot, but I did have a bad outing against Norwich, but I changed my preparation the next week. I put on some weight, lifted some weights as well, and I just came back out prepared for the next 2 outings, and it definitely paid off. Like I'm looking forward to. I'm trying to see if I could um, stay on this pace through the whole season. I know it's a long season, but it's not something I don't normally start out this hot, so I want to see if I can continue that for the rest of the season. That'd be sweet.
And is there any advice you've gotten from your teammates or coaches that have contributed to your early success?
Um, yeah, I mean, they're always just like supportive of me. I got my pitching coach. He's always just like cracking jokes out there in the pen. Just keeping it light, I would say. Like all my teammates just keep it casual, keep it fun. Not really any specific advice. It's just like the environment that they create around me just makes it so much easier to go out there and be myself. And I know it makes it easy for them as well. Like it's just a great environment here on the Bees, and I love it. I love it there. So
Hold on, we'll get right back to the Futures, but first, we want to share a message from our friends at 78 Sports. Do you have kids playing baseball or softball? We all know practice time is limited, especially here in New England, not to mention the cost of lessons and cage time can add up very quickly. Save yourself time and money by giving your kids what they need to work on their game at home. Our friends at 78 Sports can help you put together the perfect at-home training setup. Whether you want to start small with just a tee and a net, or looking to set up a full cage with turf and a pitching machine, they have you covered. And I've used their stuff before. I've seen their facilities. They definitely cover everything. The team at 78 Sports design and install hundreds of at-home and commercial sports training facilities. So let them help you find the perfect setup for your space. Visit the 78 Sports website at 78sports.com. That's SEVENTY, the number 8, sports.com. For a limited time only, By just mentioning Back to the Futures, you'll receive a 10% discount off your order. That's SEVENTY number 8 sports.com. Now, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
And we mentioned your coaches. One of them, obviously, is your head coach, Matt Gedman, who is a veteran of the Futures League, having coached for multiple teams. What is the biggest advice that he's given you and taught you about the game and about the Futures League culture?
Tough question. I wouldn't say there's any like advice. I would say it's more like just he's honestly been like a brother already. He's just a funny guy. I mean, I don't go to every single game, but when I am there, I feel welcomed in by him. And it's actually funny, like he sent me do you know who Frank the Tank is from Barstool? Is like
Yeah.
the Mets guy? Yeah. He sent me a cameo video of Frank the Tank saying like, Jared, congrats on your no-hitter, like, and he was swearing a whole bunch, but it was like a funny video and it made me feel good. Matt sent me that, and Brad, the GM, paid for that, but it was just a nice little like gesture to just make me feel good. And so basically what my point is that the Bees coaches and managers are family here, and I absolutely love it. They've welcomed me in here with open hearts, and it's been a great experience so far. So I'd say that would be the best advice, I guess.
And we'd love to see you keep all that rolling. And you yourself, you are from Madison, Connecticut, and you're getting the chance this summer to play with a hometown organization like the Bees. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I went to a Bees game last year, just to watch because I had a bunch of friends on the team, but like you said, it's not far from where I live, so it's just cool to go to the ballpark, enjoy some hot dogs, and watch a baseball game. And being able to do that relatively close to my house is something I haven't been able to do before this. So playing for them is a whole different story. Love the field, the stadium, the fans, the environment's just absolutely incredible. And I love going to games here. It's amazing.
And you mentioned a little bit about it, how you got into games last year to see your friends, but did you learn the ins and outs of New Britain Stadium before you were a Bee?
No, I had no idea, honestly. I mean, I've been to games back when they were the Rock Cats here, but like I hadn't been in the dugout and the clubhouse and like all of those little area nooks and crannies in there. So basically it had just been like in the stands, but yeah, I just learned about it now.
Well, yeah, you know it now. You're on the Bees after going to games before. That's awesome. And you mentioned a little bit about your initial impressions of New Britain, but what are your initial impressions about the Futures League in general?
Yeah, I mean it's good competition. Like there are a lot of dogs in the league. Like there's a lot of D1 guys, a lot of D2 guys, and still a lot of D3 guys. But I mean, one of my teammates just hit 95 for the first time the other week, Andrew Evans. Like there's kids that have real potential to be drafted real soon, and there's not just a few of them. There's a lot of guys in this league that have a good shot. So the Futures League is stacked, and it's an extremely fun league to play in. That's what I gotta say.
And you talked about the competition, but outside of, not obviously, but the great players that are in this league, what has been the biggest benefit to summer ball for you so far?
Yeah, it's honestly just like a chance to develop and like do my own thing at the same time. Like I've been able to lift, throw, lift and throw at home, and then go to the games when I pitch or just to like watch a game and be with the boys. So it's been like development, just like I've been able to do my own thing and get better without having like to constantly be at the field and like doing all these drills and stuff. It's just like it's casual, it's free, and I'd say ease of development is the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, and that's super important, being able to have guys from, everywhere be able to come up to the Futures League and develop their craft. And that's one of the great parts about the league.
Yeah.
Before we return to Back to the Futures, we want to share a message from our friends at Zorian Bat Company. Rob Zorian started the company, Zorian Bat Company, in 2003, literally out of the trunk of his car in Davie, Florida. Within 2 years, he was selling his wood bat line to Major League Baseball and continues to manufacture the highest grade wood bats for Little League all the way up to the majors. Rob Zorian, founder and president of Zorian, says, I started the company in 2003 to service all baseball players in the United States and beyond. And after 19 years, our mission has not changed. We are very excited to have the opportunity to work with the Futures League and wish all of our players and coaches a healthy and successful season ahead. For more information about Zorian, visit their website, zorianbats.com. Zorian, America's baseball brand. Now, back to the Futures. And transitioning here to your time at school, you play baseball at Western New England College. What has your time like been there, and how did you end up there? What was the recruitment process like?
Yeah, so I was between a few schools in the Commonwealth Coast Conference. I was between Western New England, Endicott, and Roger Williams. But I chose eventually Western New England because I liked the campus and the field was really nice. I didn't get to see the fields at the other schools, but I did enjoy. I wanted to be a business major and I wanted to go to Western New England, so that's what I wanted to do there. And so coach gave me a tour of the school and I met with him and I loved it, so I went there. So.
And this year in the CCC, you were named second team, tossing 52 and a third innings and striking out 48. What did it mean to you to earn that hardware?
It was good. I wanted to get first team, obviously. Like I had a picture on my phone background, like photoshopped of me being first team, just to like visualize it, and not getting that wasn't the end of the world. I feel like having that there just like set me on pace to have a good season. So I was able to still get second team, which was great. Obviously still excited about it, but
And gives you extra motivation to go get it next season.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the goal.
And how much pride do you take in playing for a Division III school?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty cool. Like the talent levels in Division III is like it's very wide range. You'll have arms throwing 95, right? Like outliers throwing 95, and then it'll be 75, and then these guys will still both be able to get outs in Division III because of the vast like range of talent in the league in the division. So honestly, like Division III is like it's like funny. People make jokes about it, like, oh, like our bus broke down. It's the most D3 thing in the world. Like that stuff is like builds character. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's all about building character. And you continue to have the opportunity to do that, build character and build rapport for D3 in the Futures League. What is it like to play in Division III and be able to come to a league like the Futures League and be able to not only face D3 guys, but also face D1 guys and kind of show everybody what D3 competition is all about?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, like a lot of the D3 guys that come here trying to develop. So being able to like face these like tough batters from Division I in the summertime makes it just as much easier in the fall and springtime when we go back to school. So doing that's an honor. Like I love facing difficult hitters and showing them that D3 can still hang with the big dogs. So it's fun developing against like better hitters in the summertime, and getting back makes it a little easier.
You talked about it in the Division III guys hang with the Division I guys. What's that say about the work ethic that happens with D3 players?
Yeah, I mean, the work ethic of D3 guys is just unmatched. You don't get anything handed to you at the D3 level, like strength coaches, pitching coaches, all those guys just not as many schools have the money for it at the D3 level. So uh the work ethic of the guys, it's all on you to get better in the D3 level a lot of the time. So um guys down there have crazy good work ethic and it's a grind, I'll tell you that.
For sure, and it makes it even more impressive when you see those Division 3 players step up to Division 1, either transferring or a post grad year.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of guys that have done that in my conference so far.
Yeah, and speaking of your conference, there's many guys from the Commonwealth Coast Conference that play around the Futures League. Have you noticed that so far? And is there a different mentality when you're facing those guys, especially knowing that you most likely already faced them at school?
Yeah, when I pitched against Norwich, three of the Nichols guys, Knox, Jerome, and I forget, but and Hyde, Brennan Hyde. But great fastball hitters. I was trying to mix it up a little bit through a first pitch changeup, just slipped out of my hand. I drilled them. So it's kind of like, yeah, I guess there was definitely a different mentality there because I was trying to like pitch them different than I would have. Um, yeah, but those three guys, great players. I think those are the only three I've faced from my conference so far. But yeah, I got beat. That's what I gotta say. So probably
When
should have stuck to my game plan there, but
And when you face players that are in your conference, like you said with Norwich, do you have like an extra like scouting report mentally that you have from that you remember from school ball?
yeah, I mean, there's like certain guys in the league that I've faced before that that I know like I can't throw this pitch in this count too because like I've gotten beat before by some of the people in this league and like I played in a different summer ball league last year and some of the guys in that league moved down to the this league, so I have some scouting reports, yes, that I use um and have helped me so far. So yeah.
And you came out of the pen at school before this year, but you made 8 starts. How did it feel to be part of the rotation?
It was a dream. Like a sophomore year, all I wanted to do was start games. Like I was upset that I wasn't starting games, but I understood that it was the role that we needed to fill. So I enjoyed my time being being out of the pen, being closing games, but finally getting to start games was absolutely like it was the best. Like I loved starting the game, being the guy, and just shutting down a team for as long as I possibly could. It's just so much fun. I love it.
You pitch differently when you're coming out of the rotation versus coming in be to close a game, either with the amount of off-speed pitches you throw or just how hard you're trying to throw it.
Definitely how hard I'm trying to throw it. Like coming out of the pen, like you can just let it eat for however long because you're not going to be out there for 6, 7 innings. But so when I'm starting, I would just like I wouldn't be 100% on every single fastball, every single slider. Like I will land some strikes in there at 90, 80% if I need to, just to conserve energy. You got to throw upwards of 90 pitches sometimes. So you can't be doing those all at 100%. So yeah.
Yeah, and there's definitely a difference in mentality when you're in the pen versus
Yeah.
starting. And that especially is true when you go into save a game, which you did 5 times during the 21-22 season. When you come in to save a game, do you feel the heat? How do you concentrate and stay in control for the bottom of the ninth?
Yeah. The bottom of the ninth is the most intense part of the baseball game, which also makes it the most fun. So that right there, like the fun part of it, kept me locked in. And I don't know, I loved having that like if I do well, we win, and if I don't do well, we lose. Like I loved having that pressure on me. I feel like it made me better. There was a couple games like I didn't complete the save. And it's honestly the worst feeling in the world, but when it makes the wins all the better, all the saves all the better. So honestly, like top 10 feelings making a save, top 10 worst feelings blowing a save. But yeah, staying cool under pressure, I would say, is just like the fun of it. It's just so much fun, honestly. But yeah.
Yeah, we've talked to a number of guys this season and in past seasons who are primarily closers or have at least primarily closed in college, and they talk about the same thing. Just, there's pressure, but one of the best things is saving game. One of the worst things is not.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's very like the disparity is different. Like it's very large, but when you finally complete the save, the boys are hyped in the dugout, come out, celebrate with you. It's euphoria.
That's awesome. And taking it even a step back further from college, from the Futures League, high school, you went to Daniel Hand High School. What was your time like there?
Yeah, I was a second baseman, hitting about like 220. Um, Good defense, but I could not hit. I didn't pitch either. I think I had like 2 innings one time, like our pitcher got hurt and I just went in through. I always had like a decent enough arm to pitch, but I played second base, not shortstop, because our shortstop went to UConn out of high school. So so I was a second baseman. Um, and I did pitch a couple times, but I didn't really like become a pitcher till I went to school at Western New England. So
And when did you decide that you wanted to be a pitcher?
well, I honestly like it kind of just like happened because I went to school and honestly thought I was going there to be a position player. I got there, my coach was like, "You're gonna pitch for us," and I was like, "All right." And then eventually, I realized that I was a lot better at pitching than I was at hitting. And this was my sophomore year. I was a two-way for my freshman and sophomore year, and I didn't play in the field like at all basically in those 2 years. So I was like, all right, like I'm a lot better at pitching. Junior year, I was like, I'm just gonna be a PO coach, and so that's like kind of how it happened. I was kind of like led into the decision. I didn't want to, but then again, I feel like it worked out best for me. So I'm happy with my decision now, but it was a tough one to make for sure.
And were there any pitchers that you idolized in the MLB? Like personally, when I wanted to be a pitcher since I was a kid, and I always looked up to Clay Buchholz and Tim Lincecum. What is there any players that you like idolize or watch their mechanics like compared to yours that you want to be like?
Yeah, so like old time guy, I'd say Nolan Ryan. He's just an absolute beast. Very intimidating pitcher. Uh, Throws fuzz, nasty curveball, gross changeup. Like I want to have like stuff like Nolan. Like I don't know. People say he threw 108. I don't know if that's true, but the point is he threw really hard. But like I'd say now Spencer Strider because he's got the carry fastball, which is like something that like I kind of have. Like I'm not like his obviously, but I just like I like to model my mechanics and like pitch what sequencing off of him because he has a similar pitching style. I would say the high fastball and then like slider, change up. So him and obviously and Garrett Cole, I'm a huge Yankee fan. Love watching Cole. So and we throw the same pitches, so it's fun to watch his sequencing as well. So those three guys.
Yeah, it's great that you have those guys to look up to and guys that you said have similar pitches as you that you're able to throw. And Jared, final question here for you before we sign off. What is your favorite all-time baseball memory?
Wow. Um, Honestly, like the like the no hitter, like because my grandfather and my father were there, and it was Father's Day, performed almost perfectly, and I like honestly like that's tough to beat for me. So I've had a lot of baseball memories in the past, like with my dad, but that's something that like we're never going to forget. And I got yeah, that's the biggest memory I would say. That's definitely the best.
Yeah, I figured it would be that one. I just thought I'd ask the question in a
Yeah.
sophisticated way for you to properly answer it that way. But that's Great. Jared, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us today. Best of luck with the rest of the season and the rest of your career at Western New England, man. We're rooting for you.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
Of course. And this has been season 7, episode 5 of Back to the Futures, the official podcast of the Futures League. We have new episodes coming out every Monday. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see everyone soon.